This is a review of set 75359 at the 332nd Ashoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This set released back in 2023 with a retail price of $20 with 108 pieces. January 1st of 2026 will release a similar battle pack, the Siege of Mandalore. This set has 4 minifigures, 3 different ones, and of course I'll start with those. The first figure being Commander Vaughn. He only appears in the last season of the Clone Wars, and the only real difference from him and the rest of the 332nd is this little commander rank on his chest plate, as well as a normal binoculars here that he has in that nice orange color, even though it's not really accurate. Not only does it have some printing on it, I believe it should technically be like a dark crimson red rather than an orange, but that would require Lego to make a new color of a piece, and of course they're too lazy to do that. But besides that, it's an alright figure. I mean, it still has the same problems like the helmet holes, and there isn't that much of a difference. If they're going to make a Commander Fawn figure, I would have rather had it not in a battle pack and actually have it in a bigger set, and not only so it can be more exclusive, but also can be a better figure altogether. Honestly, the only real flaw just with this figure would be the rangefinder, but I guess you could get a custom crimson one, and also there should be a little bit of the design pattern there, but still I feel like they definitely could have done a lot better besides not including it in a battle pack. The next figure is a 332nd Clone Trooper, but technically it is a jetpack trooper. On the box, it doesn't say anything about it, though. What I mean is when you look at the box, all 3 of these clones just say 322nd Clone Trooper, 332nd Clone Trooper, even though these 2 come with jetpacks, and this one doesn't, also being equipped with a different type of blaster, so it's kind of weird they don't just put Jetpack Trooper and they just put Clone Trooper. It might just be a mistake or it could be on purpose, but this is basically just a normal 332nd Trooper. I mean, very bad helmet holes, which is technically the first 332nd we've had with helmet holes. There was another version of that 332nd that came in the 2020 AAT, which I will have like to compare to the normal version. Technically, this is the jetpack trooper, but the only real difference from the normal one is removing that jetpack. I do like that nice color of the jetpack. I believe that is an exclusive color of the jetpack. For some reason, they can print a blue jetpack, but they can't print a crimson color visor, which is very weird, but it is just a pretty normal one. Besides that, of course, the helmet holes are kind of bad, and it's not 360 print. It's sort of the same flaw that you see with the 2025 phase 1 clone pilot, where it's not a full 360 around, so it is kind of weird to look at it from like the back. It just seems like not even a 332nd at all, so that is kind of weird, and just uses the normal 501st torso, obviously, because the 501st is just a branch of the 501st. The 332nd is just a branch of the 501st, and of course comes with the normal clone head, and does come with 2 of these equipped with the medium range blaster. And the final figure is a 332nd clone. So first, I'll take a look at the normal clone before going into the older 2020 version. So of course, it comes with basically the same exact thing as the previous jetpack trooper, but without a jetpack. It does come with a long blaster, which doesn't have a scope or silencer at the end. Of course, it has that horrible helmet holes and no 360 print with like the Ashoka little logo there. I still think it is a pretty cool idea, and I've also noticing this might be just because it's an older figure and I've had it for a while, since 2023, of course, when this set released, but some of the orange paint is starting to chip off. Maybe that might just be how it's printed. With, if you look at the gray cheek and then go into the center of it, you might be able to see it is a little bit on both sides, so that kind of sucks if that is just wear and tear over time, because I haven't really noticed it. It is on all my clones. I haven't really noticed it if it was when I originally got it or if it was just over time, but overall it's a good figure. I mean, not really. The main thing is just the helmet, honestly, and it's such an easy improvement with that, but compared to the older version, it is actually so much better. Besides the fact that it is not like a full 360 print, they actually did a little bit different besides the helmet holes. It looks a lot better, I feel like, with the general look of it. It might be because this one's a little bit older, but I feel like there is a little bit of like color change. Might just be because of the lighting, I guess, but I also noticed this one doesn't have as much chip on the side as the newer one. I think it does have a little bit, but definitely not as the newer one, which is kind of crazy because this was 3 years later. You can also see no helmet holes there, and it does have the accurate like clone like wart, I guess, which honestly, to make it a perfect clone, we just need to add a hole there and not a second one up top. But I get it because you wouldn't be able to attach figures like Commander Vaughn here. You won't be able to have that nice rangefinder, or I guess like viewfinder, whatever you want to call it, visor up top. You won't be able to have it because if it's lower, it'll cover up this. But still, they should just remove the bottom one if they really want to go to that route. But overall, pretty good figure, but definitely not as good as the 2021. It is kind of expensive to get him and the AAT, but overall, they definitely could have done a lot better with these figures overall, but it's honestly only the helmet range. The body and everything is honestly perfectly fine. For every figure, it's either the helmet holes or the lack of a more detailed visor. This set comes with a little blue swamp speeder, no orange, which is kind of weird because I would think that they would want to add a little bit more orange, obviously blue as well, to give it that 501st, but then it's a like branch of the 501st, so I feel like an orange hint would have looked better immediately off the bat, but we never actually see a swamp speeder on the Battle of Mandalore, which is where I'm assuming this is taking place by the box art and literally all the figures. We only get to see Commander Vaughn in the Battle of the Siege of Mandalore, I guess, which is kind of weird why they chose a swamp speeder for this, but it also comes with a little turret here, which I feel like they literally include in every single clone battle pack or battle pack for since 2023, honestly. I believe it was since this battle pack. At least the clone ones, you could launch it. It comes with a regular blue stud. I believe they changed it to a flat stud now, but this one is a translucent light blue there. It is pretty simple little build. They just slap in literally every clone battle pack. But if you look more at the swamp speeder, you can adjust the sides here to, like, I guess you want to store it a little bit better. But let's test out a figure to see if it can fit in here. We'll test out the official the clone in here, and you obviously can fit him pretty well. You kind of have to stretch this out, and then you can pop him in here, and then you can close it up really nice. I mean, it fits pretty well. There's no like control panel here, so I don't think it looks as awkward, especially if it, from this angle, if you like raise up his hands, it kind of seems like there might be like a screen behind it, but you can fit another clone in there, so I'll include Commander Vaughn in there. You also kind of have to remove his blasters for his hands to actually go below this little curved tile piece, but it does come with 2 clips, which I'll show in a little bit, so you can fit him in there and close it in nice. Looks pretty good with both of the clones in it. I just wish there would be a little bit more of an orange pop here, because honestly, this lobster doesn't even exist. It's not even in the Battle of Mandalore, so might as well go all out for it, but sadly they didn't, and they couldn't even get a full, like, I believe this would be a 1x5 blue tile. They actually had to get a 1x4, and then another 1x1 tile there. And with the blasters, you can attach them to the sides here. Pretty nice in the back by the engine. It's mainly supposed to be for the long one. I think the box does show Fawn and a normal clone in, so these are the clones you're supposed to put in it. So overall, it does fit very nice. If you move to the front, you can see the same translucent studs in a stud shooter, stud launcher there with the newer flat version. Overall, it's a pretty nice build. I mean, I'd build it a while ago, like 2 years ago, but still, it's a pretty small battle pack build. I believe this did retail for $20, so it still has that nice original retail price, not 22, rather still 20, and you were probably able to pick this up on a very decent clearance fairly recently. I mean, 108 pieces, including this little side turret as well. Overall, it's a very weird build, but it's not a bad build. I just feel like there's so many other options. It's an amazing swamp shooter build. I just wish it wouldn't be in this battle pack. It feels so random. It makes absolutely no sense at all. They could have just honestly done just a bunch of crates and made it cheaper. I don't know what you would really add to a Siege of Mandalore battle pack. I guess they did solve it in the 2026 version, which has not released yet, but still very weird why they include a swamp speeder, and that kind of just ruins the main centerpiece of the battle pack. So overall, it's a really good battle pack if you don't think about it at all, because the figures of the battle pack are horribly made, and the build is good, but it makes absolutely no sense to even have it in there. I'll also talk a little bit about the box here. You know, obviously you can see that's clearly a Clone Wars version of Mandalore in the back, which again is very, very weird why they're doing it. But one of the main worries when this released, which I was there when it released, I was very worried that the clones would actually look like this. Like that unibrow is very, very, you can see it's a lot bolder, but if you look at the regular clone, it's definitely not as it shows in the box art. So that was very, very worrying for some fans, but honestly, I don't feel like they could have just made it smaller and actually what it was. Don't see why they had to Photoshop it to make it thicker. It doesn't even make it look better at all. They also do that for the back of the box there, and it looks even more awkward. So it's very weird why they do that. I have no idea why they decided to do that, but I think the clones are pretty good for, I guess, 2023 standards, except Commander Vaughn. Honestly, I wouldn't want him to, not only would I not want him to be in this battle pack, I would want him to be a little bit improved overall. And it's kind of crazy comparing it to the almost perfect 2020 version with no helmet holes and no helmet warts. So that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing rest of your day, and see you all in the next one.